What's up, scholars? Welcome back to another video. This is a video I did not foresee myself making, but after watching the first episode, I absolutely had to make a video to talk about Oshi No Ko, the anime that is taking the entire anime world by storm. It only has one episode out. It is a 90-minute special, and it has already climbed the ranks of my anime list and taken the #1 spot. With just one episode out, that is almost unheard of, and everybody that I have seen that has watched or talked about this first episode has been shocked and left in disbelief and full of tears and so many emotions at the end of this first episode. Now, if you haven't seen Oshi No Ko, this is officially your spoiler warning. I will be talking about the end of episode 1 later on in this video, so if you haven't seen it, I would beg you to pause this, go watch Oshi No Ko, and then come back to watch the rest of my review. I am so impressed by this anime and how it's beginning. A lot of manga readers have been hyping this anime up ever since they figured out it was getting released, and ever since the first episode dropped, manga readers, y'all have just been so excited for the rest of the story to be adapted, and I am right there with you. I cannot wait to see what this anime is going to entail. So for those of you who still want to watch the video, even though it has spoilers, I will put a little timestamp right up here of where the spoilers start and where it ends, so you can skip that. Just so if you want to stay here and watch the video and get a spoiler-free review, it's there for you. So Oshi No Ko has the makings of a perfect story. It has the greatest setup I think I've seen in a long time. There has not been a first episode that is just completely hooked every single person who has watched it like this in such a long time. There's not been like a perfect first episode for me personally in ages, and this one was perfect. This was a perfect first episode to draw you into the story, to get you attached to these characters, and get you just absolutely hooked for this plot and where this story is gonna go. Oshi No Ko does this all perfectly and beautifully, and part of it is due to the characters. If y'all are on my channel for the first time, I talk about characters a lot. I love character work. I love seeing how characters develop over stories. That's why I am so hooked on One Piece right now. That's also why I enjoy stories like Bungo Stray Dogs. And in this anime, the character work in just the first episode is very surprising. It is increasingly difficult to put a lot of character work in a first episode and make it good, make it very compelling, and gets people invested. It's hard to do that right off the back of a story. Sometimes it's within the first 5 episodes or 5 chapters of a manga or a story that you get hooked to these characters. Oshi No Ko does that in one episode, and I know, granted, yes, it's a 90-minute episode, but it still does it so well. We have some great characters in Aqua, Ruby, and I, and even in the basically babysitter, which is Miyako, the director's wife. These 4 alone have such a fascinating dynamic and play a huge role in the first episode. I love Aqua's character. He is simultaneously really funny, really sarcastic and witty, but also very smart. He is a very intelligent character because this isn't really much of a spoiler, but this is a reincarnation story. So Aqua is someone who knew Ai in the past and has been reincarnated as her baby, along with his now sister, Ruby, who is someone who has also been reincarnated. All I can say is Ruby as a character being an incarnation as the second chance of life because of what happened with her previous life is so heartfelt and heartwarming, but also so sad at the same time. All I will say on Ruby is the scene of her learning to dance and she's dancing with her mom with Ai was such a beautiful scene, and I think it was just the perfect encapsulation of Ruby as a character, and I absolutely love that. Aqua as a character takes the main focus. He is our main character, and to see him work through this story, as you know, you think it's just going to be a fun, lighthearted story of a reincarnation, and to see his perspective as he's going through this life is very interesting. But his character in particular picks up at the very end of episode 1, and that's what really hooks you on Aqua's character. At least it did for me. Ai is a character that she is a very bubbly, very happy person that you can automatically get attached to. She has this just natural charm that draws you in, which is perfect because her job as an idol is to do just that. She is supposed to be bubbly and happy and draw people into her, and she does, in both good and bad ways. She is a very interesting character because the attachment to her grows as the story progresses, but you get really attached to her character towards the end of episode 1, and that's what makes the twist of this first episode so tragic. So now I'm going to be getting into spoiler territories because this is where I want to spend the main focus of this video. And that is the twist of this first episode that really shows its true colors and what this story is actually going to be about. It is not a happy-go-lucky story at all. It is not just the story of 2 reincarnated kids growing up in a new family. No, this is a revenge story. The moment Ai gets stabbed by her stalker, that's what changes this whole story. It is visually very beautiful how they handled that scene, and also so sad how they handled it, but also the animation change when Ai is dying and the look we get from her as she is dying is gut-wrenching and plays very much into the horror theme that this story has going for it now. So that is the twist ending that really sets the rest of the story into play. And the tear-jerking moment of that comes from not just Ai's death, it is Ai's last words. It is her speech at the end that is what really pulls the emotions out of you. Because some people didn't expect the ending. Some didn't foresee her getting killed by the end, and some did call it. I kind of figured that's where this was going, because once she had called the father of her children, I was like, oh, that's not a good sign, especially because he hadn't been present in their lives. And then when the door knocked and she didn't know, the door, there's someone at the door knocking and she didn't know who it was and she ran to answer it, I knew it wasn't going to go well. I knew that was going to be a bad ending. What I didn't expect was the emotions I felt from Ai's speech, because her getting stabbed, while it was shocking, it wasn't enough to make me cry at that moment. But what got me and what made me cry was when Ai is holding Aqua, putting her hand against the wall to get to, or against the glass to get to Ruby on the other side, and she tells them she loves them, which we had this huge scene with her saying that she's always told these lies about how she loves people, that it's all been lies, but she wants it to be true. She wants to be able to love people. And then knowing that she's never told her children that she loves them because she's terrified of the idea of her saying those words and them not being true, so she hasn't said them at all. And it comes to her dying moments and she says it, and the look of absolute relief on her face when she realizes that she means it, that those words are true with her whole heart. That's what got me crying. That's when I could not stop crying, was the moment where she said I love you to her kids and meant it. That moment was the best moment of this entire first episode. In my opinion, I absolutely loved it. And that is when we get the realization, because Aqua is smart and he figures out that somebody fed that stalker the information of where they were living, and it could only be the father. And Aqua figures out that his father must be in the entertainment industry just like I was. And it becomes a revenge story. It becomes this huge plot to get his revenge and to kill his father because of how he ended up participating in Ai's death. And so Aqua gets into the entertainment world to get his revenge. And with it being set in the entertainment industry also makes it super fun and super fascinating. I love that type of stuff. Like, that's why I read Skip Beat. I love the entertainment industry angle of things because it opens so many different avenues you can go down. I am so excited to see what this is going to bring because the possibilities of how Aqua is going to get his revenge is endless. And then we get this huge time skip to when they're in high school, I believe. Yeah, they are teenagers in high school. And this is where he's going to start his revenge. This is where the true story begins. All of this was just the prologue of why we are here. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The idea of showing us this entire prologue to bring us up to speed of why this story is so important, why this is going to make such an impact, is such a genius idea. Because a lot of the times in stories, especially our revenge stories, we get this little bit of why this person wants revenge, this little moment of, oh, this character is seeking revenge, and we get bits and pieces of their past to figure out, to fill in the blanks of why. But this story does it differently. Oshi No Ko starts off with like a movie-length story of why this means so much to our main character, of why his revenge is going to be so satisfying, why he is so driven towards it. And it's perfect. It's perfect. Oshi No Ko has a great setup to become one of the best stories told so far, especially with the genre it is in, because I love how even in the prologue you could see this. In the first episode you can see this, that there's a lot of humor to cover up the darkness, to cover up the dark themes that are going on, the sadness that is happening. And the first episode pretty much, it kind of like rips the band-aid off and it's like, nope, this is what you're actually going to be getting. Enjoy the rest of the story. Y'all don't understand how excited that makes me, because we have two characters, Aqua and Ruby, that you are desperate to get behind. You want them to fulfill their purpose. You want them to get to their goal and do whatever they want in life, because you became so attached to them in this first episode that you support them 100%. And there is mystery involved. There is so many different emotions at play with these characters that we are going to be able to get to see played out. There is going to be manipulation. I guarantee there is going to be a lot of manipulation at play here. I'm so excited. It's been a while since I have been so excited to continue watching an anime based off the first episode alone. Usually it takes me like 1 or 2 episodes, maybe 3, to get fully invested into a story. This one got me at 1. And again, I know people will be like, well, it's a 90-minute special. Of course it's going to be easy to get invested because it's like movie length. Yes, I get your point there, but I love the way that the directors and the creators even formatted this, because they could have drawn it out to make this prologue 3 episodes and done like 20-30-minute episodes each. But the fact that they chose just to put this into 1 episode to save room for the rest of the story is a very good creative choice, because it sets up your readers, it sets up your watchers for what they're going to be getting into immediately. It's not this drawn out sense of, oh, well, where is the story going? It's we're going to give you a longer first episode so you know exactly what you're getting into, and we're going to hook you on this first episode so you're not going to walk away from it even though it's 90 minutes. I think that's a brilliant choice. It is a genius screenplay choice and creative choice of how to draw somebody into the show that you're wanting to produce. Aqua is definitely my favorite of these characters. I think he has the most intrigue to me personally. While I love Ruby and I love her character, she's a very sweet character, also kind of funny at the same time. Aqua has the most intrigue for me because of how much he thinks in his head. He always observes more than he speaks, and I think that is going to be the biggest strength for him going forward. And I'm really excited, but also a little like nervous about what he's going to do, about what his plan is moving forward. I'm here for it though. I am here for the ride. I have a feeling, because this anime has just taken everybody by shock, that it's going to kind of take over a lot of people's lives, and I am one of them. I am going to be looking forward to the rest of this series so much, to see where it goes, to see what happens. And I hope for all of you who have already watched the first episode, I hope y'all are as hooked as I am, because I'm gonna definitely be making more videos on Oshi No Ko the further we get into the series, the more episodes that come out, because my curiosity has been piqued, my attention has been drawn, and I am invested in this story. So that is my quick review over episode 1. I think it was a perfect episode 1. You had a perfect plot that drove the story forward. You had a great ending to the first episode that makes you you know, eager to see what is going to happen next. You have these fantastic characters that get you emotionally invested into the story, and the setup of like just the rising action, the falling action, the twist, the setup of the first episode was brilliant, and I love how the directors did it, and the animation was amazing, especially some of the animation changes and how they played with like the heavier lines and all of that towards the end of the episode was pretty great, and I really loved it. And I love the themes that this show is bringing up. I love some of like the real world issues that it's bringing up, and I'm honestly just super stoked to see where it goes from here. So let me know your thoughts on this first episode down below, what you thought about it, what you liked about it. If you had anything you didn't like about it, let me know down below. I would love to have a conversation with y'all. For manga readers, I know y'all are really excited about this series. I am now really excited about this series. If y'all will let me know down below how well they adapted it, I would love to know your thoughts about that as well, to see like how much y'all are anticipating how they animate the next few episodes. But other than that, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about Oshi No Ko because I am thoroughly impressed with it. So that's all for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you next time, scholars. Bye!